This is WTF Nation Radio.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine?
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots. Oh yeah. Here we go. Friday night. Time for some Friday night freedom. Got a little freedom graphics going on. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Koz, and this is WTF Nation Radio's presentation of Friday Night Freedom. Wow, this is Independence Weekend. Can you believe it? It's July. I predicted this last week that this show tonight was going to happen in July. How smart am I? That's pretty cool. So here we are. I wonder if we are going to get thrown into the extremist category for highlighting America's greatness and celebrating Independence Day. Colloquially known as July 4th. I don't like to say July 4th. I prefer to say Independence Day because July 4th to me is just a date. July 4th is a date on a calendar. Independence Day was a revolution. It was awesome telling King George to go pound sand, huh? So Independence Day, of course, it's celebrated on the 4th of July. It's a federal holiday in the United States, and this is just kind of restating facts, and then for our listenership across the pond and in other areas, this is just a little rundown. I mean, I really don't know a whole lot about the independence / history of other countries and stuff. So I'm just going to share a little bit about the United States here.
Fuck tea, Britain.
It wasn't so much the tea. It was like, fuck the taxes on the tea. So July 4th, Independence Day, is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the Declaration of Independence of the United States on July 4th, 1776. The Continental Congress declared that 13 American colonies were no longer subjects of nor subordinates to the monarch of Britain, King George III. And we were now united, free, and independent states. The Congress had voted to declare independence 2 days earlier on July 2nd, which is today, but it was not actually formally declared until July 4th. Independence Day is commonly associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, carnivals, fairs, patriotism, picnics, concerts, baseball games, family reunions, and political speeches, and ceremonies, in addition to various other public and private events celebrating the history, government, and traditions of the United States. Independence Day is the national day of the United States. So happy Independence Day weekend, everybody. And welcome to the show. Thank you very much for kicking it with us for at least a couple of hours here. We've got a guest tonight. Carl Whalen from Back the Heroes Rumble is going to join us on the top of the second hour. He was a guest back in January, the end of January. He had Kyla Coletti was with him, and she is the widow of Sergeant Joseph Coletti. And they were on. That was the first time that we had Back the Heroes Rumble on WTF Nation Radio. So they're back, and I can't wait to talk to Carl again. They've got a huge car show coming up. Let me see if I can pull their graphic up here. Where did that guy go? Here it is. Look at that. 3rd annual Back the Heroes Rumble Car Show, August 7th, 2021. So Carl's going to be on to talk about that. And you're going to look at the person to the left, and you're going to look at the person to the right here on the graphic, and neither one of those is Carl. During all of their events, they honor fallen first responders or police officers or whatever. And this time is they're honoring Officer Jason Ellis and Detective Jorge Del Rio. They do this. They honor the folks that serve our communities. So that's pretty badass. So Carl's going to be on in the second hour. So in about what time is it? In about 45, 50 minutes, he's going to be with us. So we got to talk about safety. This is fireworks season, right? Don't be blowing off your fingers. Don't blow yourself up. I mean, there's a whole bunch of safety tips that I would like to share with you, and we're going to go over them one by one. And these are going to be supplied by CPSC.gov, which is the Consumer Product Safety Commission. And then we're going to decide if we were good or not. But first, I have to share this video with you because it's funny as fuck.
Hey, hold on. 2 cars coming. You got 2 cars coming 2 different ways. Here you go there. Bag up, bag up. Bag up, Terry. Put in reverse, Terry. Put in reverse. Oh, Lord. Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what you doing?
Back up, Terry. Put it in reverse. I love that video.
Not Terry. Poor Terry.
Poor Terry. He got kind of jacked up there. Let me see. What do? I got to get rid of that screen. So I'm going to go and do this thing and do that thing and click that button. Okay, we're back.
Okay, click it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So these these are safety tips from the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and you can find all these tips at cpsc.gov. Okay. Never allow young children to play with or ignite fireworks.
Lame.
Avoid buying fireworks that are packaged in brown paper because this is often a sign that the fireworks were made for professional displays and that they could pose a danger to consumers. I think that's code for these ones are going to be really, really fun.
Yes.
Always have an adult supervise fireworks activities. Parents don't realize that young children suffer injuries from sprinklers. Sprinklers burn at a temperature of about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt some metals.
That's the idea.
There's some great YouTube videos of people that take like 1 million sparklers and then they light it up.
That's a sparkler ball. That's why they outlawed the silver sparklers, because you used to be able to fold them up and duct tape them, and you could literally leave holes in the concrete. You know?
Yes, those are awesome. Never place any part of your body directly over a firework device when lighting the fuse. Back up a safe distance immediately after lighting fireworks.
All right, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Never try to relight or pick up fireworks that have not ignited fully.
Made that mistake a couple times.
Never point or throw fireworks at another person. What?
Oh, what's the fun in that?
Who hasn't had a good Roman candle fight, right?
You don't wake up the next morning with at least a 3rd-degree burn somewhere on your body. You done messed up.
Every year
you weren't having fun.
Every year there's a town. I don't even know what state it's in, but it's a neighborhood, and it's like everybody lights off all their fireworks at one time, and they're like shooting stuff at each other, and it's great. Every year I see a new video, and it pops up on YouTube. It's like everyone goes to war for like 45 seconds or a minute.
I know where you're talking about, but I can't remember what town it is. But like they have cops patrolling, and people don't even care at that point. They're shooting at the cops.
What's going to do? Arrest everybody, right? Let me see. Keep a bucket of water or a garden hose handy in case of fire or mishap. I do that. When I'm kind of off the chain with the fireworks, I will have water to put the duds in, and then a hose or something just in case something ignites that's not supposed to.
I got a built-in fire extinguisher, so I don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Light for fire. We're all guilty of not doing this one. Light fireworks one at a time.
Okay.
Who hasn't twisted the fuses together on a bunch of, M80s or a bunch of bottle rockets or something? Let me see. Never carry fireworks in your pocket or shoot them off from metal or glass containers. Okay, I don't think I've ever put fireworks in my pocket, aside from like bottle rockets. Like put them in my back pocket so I can pick them off one by one. But I mean, who hasn't launched a bottle rocket out of a beer bottle or a soda bottle?
I'll launch them right off my hand.
Or I think that's in one of the rules. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, well, whatever.
Let me see. After fireworks complete their burning, douse the spent devices with plenty of water from a bucket or a hose before discarding them to prevent a trash fire. Make sure fireworks are legal in your area before buying and using them. Dude, going out to the country is like the best place to get fireworks. Like here in Tarrant County, which is where Fort Worth is located, you can't buy the good fireworks. But if you go 8 or 10 miles down the road to a little town called Burleson, Texas, you can buy all kinds of good stuff. But you can buy them. You're not allowed. You're not supposed to be. It's not legal. It is not legal to set them off within the city limits. A lot of states are like this. Some states ban them altogether. You
My
can't.
state, you can buy them all year round.
Montana, actually, Christopher, very, very good. I have had very many fun weekends, July 4th weekends in Montana. They got some legit ass fireworks there. Speaking of that, there's a story about some fireworks that got confiscated.
Oh yeah.
It was in California.
The great LAPD.
LAPD did that. So, oh my gosh, yeah, I got.
Hold on, let's see if I can pull this up. I gotta look this up. Hold on, give me a sec.
There we go. I got the graphic up there. So, an explosion rocked Los Angeles on Wednesday, injuring at least 17 people, including 9 LAPD officers, after a bomb squad attempted to detonate IEDs that were seized at a home along with a large cache of illegal fireworks. In a news conference late Wednesday, LAPD Department Chief Michael Moore said authorities responded to a home and they found thousands of pounds of illegal fireworks, as well as improvised explosive devices. A suspect was arrested in connection to the items seized at the home. Okay, the LAPD bomb squad, highly trained, highly respected professionals in their field, transferred the IEDs into a containment vehicle, and then they detonated them on site, believing that it would contain the blast. Well, since this made the news, you can probably surmise that it didn't. Now, please pay attention to the video on the screen. And especially that car, boom, look at that. The explosion overturned a car, damaged several other cars, shattered windows throughout the neighborhood. Quote, clearly protocols were followed and pursued, but something happened in that containment vehicle that should not have happened, and we don't know why. We intend to find out why. And that's a quote by the bomb squad dude. Of the 17 people injured, 16 were taken to the hospital, and one who was injured declined being transported to the hospital. The LA Fire Department wrote that 9 LAPD officers and 1 Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, an explosive agent, sustained minor injuries. At least 7 people were hurt, including 3 who had moderate injuries. The department added that several homes and another building were impacted by the blast. This is all video from KCAL and KCBS out of Los Angeles. This is their raw video post. So there's no
I got you.
commentary with this. This is just raw video coming from the chopper. That's crazy, dude.
I got you.
I think something was in there. I mean, first of all, I'd like to know what kind of IEDs. I mean, do they mean homemade
bomb? I won't say bombs. Homemade fireworks, improvised explosive device. They just said that.
Or severely damaged their own truck for one. But now look at these cars over here that were casualties of this as well. They're totally they're going to be totaled around this. I count at least 3, maybe 4. And then look at this person right here who came out of this house. It looks like he's bleeding. So at least one person was damaged. We may have other people inside this house that were injured as well. If we can come around the other side, the police were actually keeping us at a distance,
what pisses me off
we
is
can
there's
now
a
say
police
for good
officer.
reason, but
First,
the windows of
he
these
was drawing
homes may
down
be
on the guy's
blown out.
dog.
Here I can see
He had a big German
this
Shepherd.
window right here looks like got taken out, so a lot of damage. This is obviously not what LAPD was expecting when they were going to be detonating these on-site.
The German Shepherd's doing the right thing. He's protecting this house.
Mistake
the guy
or
was trying to take video of his
miscalculation
car,
of some
and the
sort. We're
police
doing an
officer's
orbit now to
walking in
give
front
you
of him and
an
stuff.
idea. Now, in the middle of that truck, you can see that's that thing that's smoking right there. That's that kind of the device, that armored device. I'm not not sure what the actual terminology of that is.
Justin Brooks says, I can't hear you over the video. I couldn't hear the video audio. I am sorry. So I've killed the audio. See, I that's why I don't play videos within Facebook or within this program that require audio, because I can't hear that. I can't hear the audio, so I have no idea if it's coming out over the airwaves or not. So I play them in a separate window, and then I show that window. So I apologize for that. We were just talking about woke people are not recognizing the 4th of July. What does that mean?
Just ding, 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 shut up. That's all I gotta say. I'm just done acknowledging them. You know, it's like a toddler having a temper tantrum. Sometimes you just gotta be like, you know what? Kick and scream all you want. I'm done with it. Huh?
I think a lot of people are having that attitude. Here, I'm in the great state of Texas, and it's just like we don't. Oh my gosh, Mike Eldred. That was the video of. Let me start it again. That was the video of the fireworks and IED confiscation in L.A. That's a bomb truck, and they were detonating the fireworks and IEDs that they found. And the boom that you see was all of that stuff. It destroyed the truck. Not to mention some houses and cars and stuff. Why is Texas so great? Why that's a legit question. A lot of people don't understand why Texas is so great. I love Texas just because, and there's several reasons. I've lived in several other states. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in rural Wisconsin. I've lived in Indiana. Where else have I lived?
I can answer that question for him. Know why Texas is so great? Huh?
Well,
it's not California.
It's not California. It's just there's a lot of freedom here. You're left to your own devices. It's one of those. I wouldn't say it's a libertarian. It's definitely a conservative state. Family values. Not a lot of. It's just it's not a lot of taxes. I mean, taxes are high kind of everywhere, but they're not. I can't even say they're under control, because some of the taxes are out of control. It's a very pro Second Amendment state, which I will not live in a state that does not support Second Amendment. South Dakota is good too, but there's nothing there. and I'm not, and that's not bad. Perhaps when I hit the $10 million mark on my cryptocurrency investments, I can quit my job and I can live anywhere I want to. And I actually thought about that. Let's say I wake up one morning and I'm a cajillionaire, and I don't need to. And I've already thought about that. I'm okay. At my age, it would be nice to win, $10 million. And that way I can $10 million. That way I can, I can live wherever I want. I can still take care of my kids who are grown adults, but they're entrepreneurs and business ladies, and I could help them out. And I'm just thinking, where would I want to live? On the short list is Montana. I'd like to live in Montana next to them or nearer to them. I'd like Wyoming, either one of the Dakotas. Where else? Texas was one of them. Some bad parts about Texas. I really don't enjoy the summers that are just hot as balls. Winters are easy to deal with. Every once in a while you get a little bit of ice on the road. Traffic's a little bit dicey. This last year was an outlier because that was damn cold weather for here. But I really don't enjoy the heat. I enjoy the openness here. I do live in the city or in the suburbs, Fort Worth suburbs. But I think I would enjoy living in Colorado. I would enjoy living in Idaho, Montana.
Idaho would be awesome too. Yeah.
Idaho. I mean, for the fishing, Montana and Idaho would be great.
Yes, trout fishing for days.
I also thought about Wisconsin, just to be next to, closer to where my parents live. Wisconsin. But I'm like, well, if I got $10 million, I can live anywhere and I can be near my parents whenever I wanted. So, and that would afford me to live, in a nice house. I could survive off of, 70, 80K a year, 100K a year, because everything would be paid for. Maybe start up a business, maybe a veteran t-shirt company or a coffee company or a whiskey company. Oh, there's too many of those already.
Sell chili dogs, you'll be all right, huh?
Dude, did you see KC Cattle Company was on I think it was the Today Show today. They were highlighting their Wagyu beef hot dogs. They've been on the show before. They're a veteran-owned beef company. They sell Wagyu beef, and it's delicious. Their food is just awesome. That's not all they sell, but man, I think Holly is in the chats, and she's had she's ordered some of the, if I'm not mistaken, she's had some of the KC Cattle Company stuff. But yeah, they were on the Today Show today, so that was neat. Colorado is going in a bad direction. I kind of noticed that when we were up in the Denver area. Denver is not Colorado proper. It just seemed like there was a lot of marijuana tourism there, and there was a lot of I saw a lot of in-your-face homelessness. Kind of like the way that there is, you can't judge the entire state of Texas by driving through Austin. There's a lot of in-your-face homelessness down in Austin.
Austin's just become horrible over the last 20 years. It's insane.
Mike Eldred wants to start a lingerie store. He's actually a lingerie model.
That's what I was about to say. It'd be great model.
He's going to model his own stuff. Okay, Holly said yes. I love their hot dogs and their steaks. So yeah, she has eaten some of the
Yeah, I'm just the poor guy that just likes my Nathan's hot dogs. That's it.
Nathan's are good. Me. Nathan's are good. The only thing I've ordered from KC Cattle Company is their ground beef. And dude, I'm telling you that there's no taste like it. It's so delicious. It's really, really good. Yeah, I don't know if I had $10 million, I would, if I'd start, I don't know if I would start a business, because running a business is it's tough. It's a lot of work. You never really get a day off. You're always hustling, And if I had $10 million from what I have right now, I wouldn't want to do that. I would probably become an angel investor of some sort to causes that I believe in. So that's that. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd start anything up. I would make sure everything's my family's taken care of, my kids are taken care of, my parents are taken care of, and then just chill, man. I already looking at buying a Bobcat. I want to drive a Bobcat, and I want to dig dirt, and I don't care where it goes. I just want to move dirt around. I think that would be cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna dig holes. Don't you want to rent one of those? No, man, I want to buy one of these guys. What are you gonna do with it? I'm gonna dig holes.
Yeah, they're fun to play with.
I've never driven one. I think maybe its utility would wear off after a short while, but fuck, at least I would have a Bobcat. And you can put those things up on a trailer and haul it around with a truck, so it's not like you can't move it, or it's not as big as a bulldozer. Of course, it can't do everything that a bulldozer can do, but maybe if I join the Bobcat Club or something, maybe I'll have a friend or a contact. I'll network myself and find someone who has a land mover. And we can have a dirt moving party. We can have a dirt moving party at my house. You see these 10 acres of land? I'm going to move all them 10 acres over there. I don't know, man. Dig a. I'll have Raptor 6 come over and he can teach me how to dig a tank defilade. So we got. Some news, and I this is interesting news. Hell yeah, I'll build my own country and name it Just Cause. But I'd be able to bring my friends too. Everybody's invited. So here is a cool story that came. I think Ship sent me this, and this has been. I think this was from Task and Purpose. The border is a national security crisis that requires the kind of sustained response only National Guard can provide. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem said in a statement on Tuesday, roughly 50 guardsmen will deploy on a mission, according to South Dakota Guard spokesman. However, the mission is still in its early planning stages. It is unclear when the troops will deploy on the border, which unit will be sent, and what the mission will be. The National Guard declined to comment on the story or answer questions about the practice allowing private donors to fund missions. A query to the Pentagon about the mission did not receive a response. This is really interesting because Willis Johnson is the founder of a company called Copart. It's an online vehicle auction service, and he has amassed billions of dollars, and he resigned as the CEO of Copart in 2010. The estimated net worth is $2.2 billion. That's a lot of dara too. See, I don't need the billions of dollars. 10 million and I'm set.
I just want billions. Give me it all.
Well, folks that do find themselves extremely wealthy, they're like, well, how do I get more? I don't know if I'd be like that. Maybe if I was younger, I'd be like that.
Walk down the road with like 30 Rolexes on one arm, be like, screw y'all, I'm rich bitches. I mean,
I'm not.
Peasants.
I ain't dumb. So this donor, and this article goes way beyond what's necessary, because every other sentence is, he's a Republican mega donor. So he's a donor. He donated at least in the past $1.5 million to conservative type causes. Then they go into mentioning President Trump. Former President Donald Trump made border security a key part of his presidency, ordering the deployment of troops to the border in April of 2018 under a mission called Operation Faithful Patriot. One of President Joe Biden's first act of president was to suspend Trump's emergency declaration at the border, halting most of the government funds. So how's that working out for you, Mr. President? So Kamala Harris came down to the border. She came down to the border. She went to El Paso. Ooh.
Hung out at the airport.
Donald Trump came this week. He was, I don't know. I don't even know. I think he was closer to Matamoros or Del Rio like where the actual issues are. But that didn't get hardly a peep out of the mainstream media. Anyway, Governor Noem welcomes any and all such donations to help alleviate the cost of South Dakota taxpayers. Governor Noem's spokesperson declined to disclose how much of a donation was made to cover the missions, saying that revealing that would be a security risk. Does anybody out there see a problem with private? This is kind of there's a line. I don't know. It's a gray line. Private citizens to fund, at least in part, missions of, I don't know, in this case, it's the National Guard.
Merchants used to hire the Navy to freaking guard their ships back in the day, or the private, or just privateers in general. But I mean, they needed help from pirates and shit, so hire someone to guard my ship. But I don't see nothing wrong with that.
So your National Guard gets most of its funding from the state. Is that correct? I'm guessing. I'm not. I've never been a nasty girl. I'm not. I don't know.
It's like the state militia, pretty much.
Okay. So it's a state-based militia. Okay, National Guardman. My daughter was in the National Guard. So if someone were to come around and go, I've got, a spare $1 million or $2 million, I would like to donate that to, in this case, North Dakota, and have them that'll support them sending some troops down to the border. There's a lot of folks that are kind of upset about that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a problem. I really don't know. It seems cool to me because I think that we need more border security. I think I would feel better if he took that, whatever he wanted to donate, and say, "Here, Governor Abbott, I hear you're accepting donations for the border wall in Texas. Let me send you some funds." But he called up Governor Noem and said, "Here's some money." Of course, the amount has not been disclosed, but and that is going to pay for your mission, whatever your mission is, and at the border, sending them to the border. The border is extremely long, runs along the southern border between Mexico and the United States, goes from California all the way to Texas. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a problem. Back in the day. And being from Texas, Ross Perot is a big deal. And he's...
Remember Ross Perot and his had a big old elephant ears?
Lots of folks will say he's the guy with the big ears. He's the guy that talked funny. He's the short little guy. He's the guy that split the vote between George H.W. Bush was a one-term president. Ran, am I misremembering this? No, I think I'm correct. George H.W. Bush was a one-term president.
Yes, you're correct.
And he ran against Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot ran in that year, and he split the Republican vote. And that's part of the reason why George H.W. Bush lost the election. So anyway, Ross Perot, way back in the day, he founded Electronic Data Systems. You might know them as EDS. He founded it back in 1968. Did you know that Ross Perot is a Naval Academy graduate?
No, I did not.
He graduated from the Naval Academy. I mean, back this is back when ICE was probably in his 50s. But he went through the Naval Academy. He commissioned as a lieutenant, and he got out as a lieutenant. So in the mid 1970s, this is a kind of a long story. I'm going to shorten it up. And this is what a private citizen did in a foreign country to save his own folks. In the mid 1970s, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, had hired EDS to install modern healthcare programs and other computer systems in the country. The work was slowed down by lack of infrastructure in Iran and rising instability, political instability. By the end of 1978, violent protesters against the Shah were becoming very common. Mr. Perot decided to evacuate 130 of his EDS employees and family members, arranging for just a select few to stay behind. The United States and Iran used to be really, really cool. I used to work with some guys at my job saying that, oh yeah, they would go to Iran all the time and service aircraft and train pilots, train maintenance people. And it was like we had a real super cool relationship. Of course, I was alive then. I just didn't, dude, I was like 10 or 12. So a 10-year-old or 12-year-old is not going to be really concerned with Middle East relations. On December 28, 1978, Paul Chiapparoni and Bill Gaylords, both EDS employees in Tehran, were arrested and imprisoned. First, they were held at the Ministry of Justice jail, and then they were held in the city's more secure Qasr prison. Officials set bail in 1978. They set bail at $12.75 million. Mr. Perot pledged to bring these men home. After diplomatic efforts failed to free them, he put together a task force with political and legal expertise. He made key contacts and secured the assets necessary to get these men out. He says, quote, "We tried the government. No luck. We tried to work through the Iranian legal system. No. We even tried to pay the bail, and that was nothing more than ransom." He said everything failed. I was either going to lose my guys or try something. We took the risk because we felt it was wrong to leave these two innocent men behind. It was that simple. It was the principle. After 46 days of captivity, his rescue mission that he put together, he rescued his guys. The CEO of this company, I mean, he was there. He was in Europe. He was in Turkey. And he was there from the start to the finish of this operation. It was great, and that's why Perot is he's such a hero. He's a patriot, and he's a private citizen, and he performed a military operation overseas in a foreign hostile country. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you got the money to throw around, you got money to throw down, you know.
They did it right. There's a book, it's called On Wings of Eagles. It's written by Ken Follett. And there's a screen adaptation that was made starring Burt Lancaster. And it was a series. It was like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4 of On Wings of Eagles. I highly encourage everybody to read the book and or see the movie. It's great, man. Ross Perot is just he's a patriot, dude. He is a patriot. Love him or hate him. I don't know why anybody would hate him other than, he talks funny. He's got big ears. Anyway, God rest his soul. Ross Perot left us. He died in 2019. So that's that. So I don't think it's
running for president.
I don't think it's wrong. But who's to say, let's just say, for instance, if the shoe was on the other foot, George Soros wanted to give a crap ton of money for the National Guard of whatever the hell state he chooses to do something. I guess you would be governed by the Constitution. So it's important to protect the border. So I think it would be okay for a private citizen to send Governor Noem money to send some troops down to the border. I don't know what Soros would do. I'm trying to think out loud. I'm just kind of like a stream of consciousness here. I'm mumbling.
So Soros just funds, these caravans coming up. So I mean,
he funds the caravans. Okay, I get it. He funds the caravans coming up, or he funds the insurrection within the country. He funds people getting out of jail that are arrested for rioting. Right. I agree, Justin. She is a wildcat in politics. I think she's extremely effective. She's doing a great job, and I think she's got her star is on the rise.
Who this?
The Veteran Trash Talk says George Washington said to pay the guard in beer, and they will show up to train. You know what? I think that probably holds true today. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I'm kind of on the fence. I think it is. I'm gonna say that yes. I think it's okay for a private citizen to fund state.
It's all up to the governor. To be honest with you, it really is all up to the governor. If the donor says, "Hey, I'm going to donate this money and I want the guard to do this," the governor says, "Yeah" or "nay" on it. That's the end of it, no?
Yeah, I mean, if he were to say, if I won $1 bajillion, or if I woke up with, like that guy that we talked about last week with $1.4 trillion in his bank account, and if it was legit, and let's just say, okay, after you pay your taxes, you're left with, let's say, $1 trillion to play with. I'd be extremely philanthropic with my funds. I think that 98.7% of all the veteran businesses would not have anything to worry about. I would support everybody. Veterans causes would just have, they would have no worries. VA would not have any worries, but send some cash down Governor Abbott's way. Say, hey sir, how about I pay for half the wall? You guys pay for half, I'll pay for the other half. I don't know how much does the wall cost? I don't know.
Sure, it's $1 trillion. You could pretty much fund the entire border wall.
See, I already told CQ that I was going to buy him an Iron Man, a full size, life size Iron Man suit if I hit the crypto lottery.
Okay, so you're gonna go Tony Stark and start just building your own.
Oh, he was talking about on his show. It was like a life size Tony Stark Iron Man suit, and it was only like $8,000. That'd be awesome. I don't know. If I had all that money and didn't have anything to do with it, I might become dangerous. Start eating more unhealthily and.
You turn into, what's his name, Lex Luthor?
But there's
That's why I always warn people about Elon Musk. Is like, man, stop harassing that man. He's doing good right now. He's just like a cunt hair away from turning into an evil mad scientist and just destroying the world. Just leave him alone.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Oh, Brian Patrick O'Gorman. He says, you're failing to remember your history. What do you mean? Was that directed at me? I don't know if that was directed at me. I'm kind of seeing chats going.
Because I'm just blah, blah, blah.
You're just yapping.
I'll say whatever whenever I want to say it, so it just rules out. I apologize if I didn't quote history right. No?
Okay, Captain Wayne Baconator, who has failed to become promotable, says, how much do shovels and tunnels cost? Oh, wait, ladders and ropes. The wall is a joke. Well. It certainly is a deterrent, though, to have a migrant caravan coming around. It kind of funnels them towards the point of entry as opposed to jumping through the window into the country. That's why I like it. It's
Walls didn't work. Then why did they build a wall around a capital?
It was there for a long time too.
Yeah, and they had troops outside said wall. So if that doesn't work,
linear targets are the most difficult targets to defend. It does slow them down. It does slow them down, and it'll funnel them towards a point of entry. Now, I don't know how many points of entry are between Del Rio and Matamoros. That's kind of halfway between El Paso and Matamoros. Matamoros is probably the southern tip of Texas before you hit the Gulf. El Paso is on the other. It's on the western side. I know there's a point of entry in El Paso. I'm not sure about other points. I think they're much smaller. But right now the border crisis is in areas that are not protected by a wall. I think there ought to be a wall. I think there ought to be borders. defined borders that are enforced. And if you want to come into the country, you're welcome. I'm not saying nobody should come into the country. I think that you ought to do the proper paperwork to get into the country. Declare yourself.
We could do it like North Korea does, and just landmine the entire border. I mean, landmines are cheap. They're a good deterrent.
VTT says 2 entry points in El Paso, and there is a wall, and it works. Carl Whalen, there are borders in heaven. Hell has none. Oh, man. It's like 10 minutes to the hour. Hey, did you know I was on Veteran Trash Talk last Saturday?
Yeah, you said something about that. I didn't get to hear it.
It was great. It was a cool conversation. It was 1, 2, 3. There was like, what, 5 of us? Well, one guy, yeah, there was 5 of us. One guy was just kind of, I think he's the tech wizard guru guy. He kind of sets everything up, and then he kind of puts on a little splash screen of something. I think it was a 10th Mountain whiskey splash screen for him, and then it was all of us just hanging out, shooting the shit, talking kind of life. I'm an older soldier, and these guys are mostly newer soldiers and current soldiers. It was nice. It was really nice. The culture definitely has changed since I was in. I got out in '96, and these guys are still in.
Cool. Yeah. I'm glad I got out when I got out, because things started getting crazy. So all that sensitivity training and blah, blah, blah. And yeah.
So you've seen the Tour de France made the news this week. It normally makes the news all the time, but this time it made it. And there's always lots of crashes. It's almost as cool as NASCAR, but it's just a bunch of dudes on bikes that are like falling over each other. It's not as dramatic as a NASCAR or an F1 race. I gotta find this. This is pretty cool. So there was a crash. This lady in the Spectator was holding up a WTF Nation radio poster, as you can see in the picture right there.
Oh, okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. I don't want to spread any fake news. But the accident happened about 45 kilometers, because this is a news that came out of France. They're in like kilometers and stuff. The accident happened in 45 kilometers from the finish of the first stage of the race on Saturday. This is last Saturday, when a female spectator on the side of the road held up a big sign which caused a pileup. It is not evident what she meant to say, but the sign says, Allez opi omi, in French and German, which translates generally to go grandma and grandpa. I think she was just trying to have fun. She was having fun. Tour de France happens. Everyone wants to go there and have fun. According to the race's video coverage, the sign hit a German rider, and you'll see this video here. The sign hit a German rider, Tony Martin, who was cycling near the head of the pack. Martin fell, which led to the subsequent crash of dozens and dozens of riders behind him. Cyclists fell en masse, and the crash left bikes and bodies tangled on the road. The fall held up the race for several minutes. There's a big overhead view. There's the sign. Boom, one guy goes down, and then everybody else goes down. What's crazy is you have spectators on the left and the right-hand side of the road. Okay, you've got hundreds of bicyclists coming through. Next to these guys, look at that ditch. Look at the ditch. There's a ditch to the left, a ditch to the right, not to mention other people. So what are your choices? You have no choice. Your choice is to just go through, go straight. Because if you go left or right, you're going to be in a ditch, or you're going to be hitting another rider. So the woman was arrested. I don't know if she has been charged yet, but she faces, listen to this, 2 years in prison and up to a fine of $35,000 U.S.
That is insane.
For holding, the way that the French were categorizing it, it's just, she did an unsafe thing without consideration for the safety of others. So I guess that would be gross negligence in the United States.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense then at that point, huh?
But yeah, she got nabbed. She had a really not very flattering walk of shame into the police precinct. I'm not going to share that video. But I think from what it looked like, she's just having fun. She didn't mean to disrupt things. She just kind of popped out that sign there, and bad stuff happened. So I looked at there was the name of a bike, and this is further along in the video. I'm going to show this again only because I forgot the name of the bike. I should have written that down. Man, that's just it was the name of one of the bikes. So I went to the website. I went to the website to find out, okay, if I wanted to buy one of these bikes, how much am I going to be spending? And these are consumer level bikes. Mind you, what these folks are riding are professional level, super balanced carbon steel, all this other crap. But the consumer level bikes start at around $15,000 a piece. That one, Colnago, Colnago. So I looked up Colnago. They got a couple for, they're thousands of dollars. Yes, VTT, theirs is as expensive as cars. I wonder what it feels like to ride one of those. I wonder if you just have your general, your Huffy or your Schwinn or whatever you can get from Walmart, and you ride that bike and you're just like, this is the best bike ever. And then someone hands you one of those bikes and says, here, you can keep it for the weekend. I wonder if it would be like, oh my gosh, this is worth $15,000. I've never, I don't know, aside from helicopters, I've ridden in a lot of helicopters. I've ridden in a Robinson. I've been in an MD 500. I've been in a Blackhawk, Hueys, but nothing really made my hair stand up until I flew in a Bell 407, which is like what do we have? The 429, which is a 2-engine version of that. But dude, it's like a sports car. So, helicopters are helicopters, but damn, dude, you get into a high performance type of helicopter, you're like, wow, this is really awesome. I wonder if it's the same feeling for the bike. $15,000. I can't, with my income right now, I don't think I can justify that kind of cost. My daughter had a bike that she bought it. It's called Specialized, and she's like, hey Dad, she moved back up to Montana. She's like, can you ship me my bike? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I've told this story. So I looked up how to ship the bike, how much it's going to cost, what do I need to do, and it was like $300 to ship the bike. And I was like, that's a lot of money. How about I buy her a new bike and just have it shipped to her house, and then she can have a bike. So I looked up her Specialized bike, and her Specialized bike was like $1,500. So she lied to me when I told her, hey, she says, hey Dad, I want to buy a bike. Will you split it with me? I'm saying, okay. And then she got the bike, brought it home. I said, how much do I owe you? She said $200, $250 or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Gave her $250. Split the cost. Then I found out how much the bike really cost. So yeah, I guess those bikes are out there. Oh yeah, I had a mongoose when I was a kid, Justin. I had a mongoose. My neighbor had a Diamondback, and I always thought the Diamondback was awesome because it was it was aluminum and it was super light. Super light. The mongoose was really, really cool, but the mongoose was super light. I really enjoyed that dude's bike. It was just like I was just jealous. I think I was just jealous. But man, yeah. $15,000? What? I tried out a 15-gram bike. I swear it weighed 5 pounds. $15,000 bike. 5 pounds. 5 pounds is a good weight for a bike. Gary Branscom's like, I'll stick to my Harley, thank you. I am not responsible for the Black Hawk crashes from microwave energy. I told you on the show that was before my day.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, what are you talking about?
No, aircraft used to be wired with just regular wire. Wires went from point A to point B. And then Blackhawks started falling out of the sky because none of the wires were shielded, especially the flight control computers. So they started shielding everything.
Oh, you should shield everything. That's common sense.
Now you do.
Yeah.
Now you do. Okay, hey, we're going to take a break, and in just a few minutes, we are going to have Back to Heroes Rumble. Carl Whalen's going to be on, and we're going to talk about a badass car show. He always has like pictures of badass cars and stuff. I like cars. I'm not a good car guy. I appreciate nice cars, but car shows. We used to go to car shows at McCormick Place when I lived in Chicago, and that was awesome because you look at all this stuff that I can't afford. So anyway, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes with Back to Heroes Rumble and Carl Whalen. Stay tuned.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
The WTF Nation Radio.
Anyway, my name is Koz. This is WTF Nation Radio, and we are joined by Mr. Whalen, Carl Whalen, from Back the Heroes Rumble. You remember back in the beginning of the year, that was your first appearance here on WTF Nation Radio, and that was awesome because you had Kyla Coletti? Kayla. I knew it was a K and a La somewhere. She is the widow of Joseph Coletti. I remember his name, Sergeant Joseph Coletti. So she was on to tell his story, and you were talking about your organization and what you do. And I'm really happy to have you back here, man. This is really super awesome. Oh, do I have both of you? Oh, there you go. What's up, man? I got you on the video.
You got me on the video? Or you
I
got
do.
Pooky too?
I do.
Let's see.
You might not be able to see me, but we can all see you.
There's a delay. There we go. All right, I want to minimize everything so I'm not distracted.
Not a bad plan. Yeah. So what's up, man? Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little. I know about you. Let's tell us about you.
Okay, so I am the co-founder. My wife is also a co-founder of Back the Blue Rumble, doing business as Back the Heroes Rumble. We are a 501c3 charity organization that was established in 2019 after we organized a show for a fallen officer. It was a huge success. Over $16,000 was raised for that officer in a matter of 30 days planning, which was amazing. And the community said, we need to keep doing this. And my wife and I said, let's do it. And so we decided to start the nonprofit because what we noticed, there were heroes, police officers, especially in the year 2019. It was the worst year, in my opinion, where these heroes were being killed in the line of duty or by incident and whatever, and there'd be one officer that would get all this media attention and you might hear a blurb of the others, and the others didn't get as much financial or community support, even though every single one of the people that died, people mourned their loss greatly. And we saw that as a problem. We wanted to make sure that no hero was forgotten. And another reason I started the organization is I'm an Iraq War veteran. I was a medic in Iraq in 2008 through 2009, and kind of when Iraq was winding down, but we still had a big problem. We dealt with anti-tank grenades and mortar fire on our joint security station in Ghazalia district, and we had a few men that were killed. Not as many as you would think when we were first invading the country, nowhere near that, but dealing with survivor's guilt and knowing that these men had died meant a lot to me to be being addressed in the VA, but also I wanted to find a way to not be focused on it. And this nonprofit was a perfect reason for me to not be focused on it and to redirect my energy and attention to families who are grieving the loss of a loved one and kind of making me feel whole again by doing so. Our nonprofit are all volunteers or board. We do not take a single penny for compensation for any kind. I've got my VA benefits and my wife works. And so we have plenty of income. There's no reason and we have no intention of ever changing this policy. So all board members and all our volunteers don't make money from what we do. We're all in about giving to the cause and to the people that we're serving. We don't just support the families of fallen heroes from police, fire, military, but we also support police and fire departments that are underfunded, especially now with that BS defund the police movement. And I'm just going to speak candidly, cause it's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
And these guys get a bad rep just because of a few turds in the force. I'll tell you personal experience in the military. I had people steal from me. I had people who were found guilty for assault and rape and, many nasty things, but that doesn't mean that the military is a bad thing. I think a lot of people are so quick to give everybody a bad rep just because of a few bad eggs. And we need to realize that even in the noble profession of healthcare, there were doctors that were committing crimes of generous proportions.
I hate to bring this up, but there's also doctors in the VA that have been found guilty of murdering their patients. That doesn't make the entire... Yeah, that doesn't make the entire VA bad. People have bad experiences at the VA, but damn, man.
Yeah. So basically, that was my mission of just trying to take care of these people, especially now more than ever, because there's just too much. They're always wrapped up in a political fiasco and theater, and it's not fair to them, not fair to their families, that their loved one has to risk being assassinated just to go out and protect and serve our community and make a paycheck and take care of their families. It's just wrong.
My brother's a police officer. He was a police officer for probably 18 years. He finally made detective, so he wasn't a beat cop anymore. But then, when all of these riots and stuff started happening, guess where he went? He went back on the streets as a beat cop, as a uniformed police officer, being paid as a detective. And I got worried. I mean, he's so close to getting, he's so close to retiring. I'm like, and I worry about him. And he's in Chicago, so.
Oh, Chirac, go.
So I do worry about him, and it really sucks. It's got a underfunded police departments, and that's cool to have like another revenue stream. Not that you're a revenue stream for underfunded efforts. You cover a 3-state area, 4-state area?
We serve the entire region of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky. Now, I'm located in Cincinnati, which is an armpit of a tri-state area for local areas, for Cincinnati, Dayton.
What's the population?
Indianapolis.
What's the population of Cincinnati?
Oh, God. You're asking me to be a census bureau. I have no idea. I would say a few million.
Okay, so it's over a million. All right.
Yeah, it's a pretty big city. But the service footprint, just police officers, 104,000 estimated according to 2019 Census Bureau. There's probably a few more or less, depending on how the funding police has impacted. That's how many officers were. 100,000 officers. Firefighters, there's probably about 75,000. And then there's military branches both in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, which we already know 2 big military bases, one of which, Fort Campbell. And then we have Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Those are the 2 biggest ones. But our mission is pretty clear. We want to make sure that these heroes are taken care of, and especially the families, because often their needs go amiss when the first person falls. I mean, absolutely, there's programs, there's resources, but those things are pretty strained. They're pretty limited. They only go so far. Granted, if you're a soldier, sailor, Air Force, Marine, if you're killed in the action, there's a $400,000 life insurance policy for you.
It's up to $400K now. Wow.
Yeah, it's been like that since I think post. Maybe even before it. But I will tell you that goes quickly when you've got a mortgage, when you've got autos that you need for your kids, when you got to look at the long. Police and fire even more so. There's not that much. And there's so much red tape involved with the programs that help the first responders especially. I've talked to several, and one of the organizations we are proud to say that we're working real hard to build a relationship with is the SHIELD. And Rich Wallace and I, we've had our conversations in our meetings, and one of the things that he's agreed to admit to me about is law enforcement agencies, not only do they got a bad rap, but there's always cut funding being pushed through. So we got the FOPs trying to fight for them, but they're the little guy, City Hall is going to push through their political fiasco and say, we're going to defund this pension program for our law enforcement officers before they can get into retirement, and we're going to fund this thing like, I'm not even going to go into it. I don't want.
Or they borrow from the pension funds. Like if you look at and I'm just going to use my brother as an example, being in Chicago, they gamble with the pensions for public employees, not just police officers, firefighters, even government service folks. They kind of gamble away or use. It's kind of like the way the federal government uses Social Security.
Yes. And another thing that is very important people need to understand too is there are plenty of small budget, next to no budget police officer or police departments in the region we serve and nationwide, really, where these officers are making less than most people make minimum wage. They're practically volunteering to protect their community.
I think the problem is all of these public services, they do come at a cost, and the cost is borne on the shoulders of the taxpayers. As the populations increase in certain areas, the burden on these public servants becomes greater. Or you need to hire more firefighters and more police officers. But what are you going to do? You're going to piss off the public and say, okay, we're going to raise your property taxes by point something percent. Which, if you're living in I don't know what a house cost in Cincinnati. Pooky said $300,000 in 300,000 people actually in Cincinnati proper.
Yeah,
but there's all the burbs and whatnot.
Yeah, levies for police and fire are not an uncommon thing, especially now with cost of living going up, inflation. So you got to think about it this way. You make everybody $15 an hour. What are you going to do to your law enforcement officers, your paramedics, some of them are only making 18, 19, 20. Some entry-level police officers in Cincinnati start out at 17, 16 an hour.
I've always had a problem with that.
What are you going to do to them?
I've always had a problem with that because I think a rising tide floats all boats. Everyone's heard that. So what do you do with the people that were already making that much? I was living in the Toledo area in Bowling Green. And I just came back from Iraq as a civilian. I was a contractor, came back, and I was looking for jobs. I didn't want to work in a union shop, so I was forced to work for about $15 an hour. I got a promotion and another promotion, and then I got into project management, and I asked they said, hey, can you do this for a while until we find a replacement? I said, no problem. So I did it. And then they're like, okay, we want you to be the project manager and plus sales rep and all this other crap. And I'm just like, okay, I'd like another raise, please. And they said, well, they came back to me like a week later, said, we can't give you a raise, but we can give you your own parking spot. So the welders welded up a sign, and then they got something embossed that said my name on it. It said, here, this is Koz's parking spot. That was my compensation. That was my compensation.
Yeah. So, bottom line is there's always something we can do to better our communities. And the number one thing that comes to my mind is who serves. And while we're sleeping in our beds peacefully at night, while we're, snuggling next to our loved one, watching a movie, dead hours of the night, we've got guys that are sitting out there at any moment's notice. Who knows what they're going to face? I mean, in Iraq, I didn't even know who I was going to face, but at least we know there was enemies out there. You got people embedded in your community, and every day where I heard the expression, don't shit where you sleep and eat, right?
Yeah, right.
What are you going to do when you got such anti-police rhetoric being funneled out there? I'm going to tell you, out here, people love their police. People love their fire. People love their military. And no matter what kind of political dogma is being shoved down their throat, they're not wavering. Out here, they love their first responders and their military. And I'm blessed to be part of the community. But more so ever, I am glad to see that. Sorry, my dogs are going to go nuts. My soul dropped off. My name sucks.
Puppies.
Courage, Serenity. Come here, girl. Come here. Oh, man. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. We love dogs. We all love dogs.
Well, they're two Aussies, and Aussies are barkers. Okay, 1 second. I got to intervene. Go ahead and Koz, keep them going for like 10 seconds. I got to unlock the door.
No problem. Carl, I appreciate the interruption. I think everybody here likes dogs, even those who are allergic. What I appreciate, and I hope you can still hear me, is what I appreciate both times that you came up. And we have a graphic for, advertising the appearance of Back the Heroes Rumble. What I appreciate is the graphics that you provide us. They aren't you. It's not your face. It's not the face of you or your wife or anybody else. It's the face of a fallen police officer or a hero.
Bring him back in an hour.
Bring him back in an hour.
Sorry. Okay.
You didn't have your headphones on. I didn't know if those were wireless or not. what I was saying while you were gone is that what I appreciate about your organization and the way that you conduct your business is both times that you've come on, we ask for a graphic and our media people grab that and they do some magic with it. I've never seen a picture of you on that. It's always a picture of a fallen hero that you guys are honoring. Miss Coletti the last time and Joseph Coletti. And now it's Jason Ellis and Jorge Del Rio.
And it's pronounced George. I actually
Is it really?
made that mistake earlier. Yeah, it's pronounced George.
No.
As his partner would call him, good old Georgie. Because it's not about me. It's not about our volunteers, although we are working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure we put on a good show for not only our spectators, but for the families, because that's paramount for them. I don't want to, when we do something as an organization, one of my main objectives that I've always put forward for all of us is if you're going to do it 110%, 100 miles an hour. If you're going to crash and burn and make sure that Fast and Furious is to be rivaled. Okay. My stance on it is, I'm always running 100 miles an hour. I mean, I do slow down sometimes to the speed limit to make sure I catch the finer details. But at the end of the day, as long as the families are taken care of, our nonprofit can break even at the end of the year for all I care. I mean, I know we want to be financially well off to where our organization can continue its mission behind the scenes even after the car show. And so we work hard to do that. But funding is difficult. We've leaned heavily on corporate sponsors and donors that way. Individual donorship's been down. It's no secret. COVID hit everybody's pocket in a different way. As well as, just some people kind of held back because there's political BS tied to it. We've had donors that are very loyal, that stuck with us and stick with us. And every time I do a campaign, they're the first ones to jump in. It's getting new donorship. So I will say, one thing I want to talk about with you is a membership program for donors. I know you see a lot of stuff with other nonprofits, I won't mention their names, where they'll be showing you a heartfelt story about somebody they're helping or an entity that they're there to serve for, and they'll say $19 a month goes to this program, and if you send us this, we'll send you this gift. We're getting ready to try to put something together to start that in January.
Just don't make it like you can adopt a panda in China, and we'll send you pictures. And please don't make it
pandas, like okay?
Andrea's so do I.
Biggest weaknesses. My thing is, we want it to be purposeful where the money is. We need to acquire new donors, and we need to maintain that donorship so we can continue to serve our heroes. These trauma kits we provide the police departments, for example, we're working on getting the cost down a little bit, but right now they're about $50 a pop. And while it's life-saving equipment, yes, that could help the officer, it's also equipment can be used on a civilian they roll up on in a scene where paramedics are not there yet.
Right.
The police have to be there to make sure the scene is safe, so they're almost always the first ones there. And especially under EMS protocol for Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, they're all pretty much the same. And one thing that we want to do is let people know that we do care about what has been going wrong, the injustices in the criminal justice system. That's been there since long before, and it's not even really the police that's at fault collectively. It's the system set up. People are saying, racism and whatnot, right? I'm just going to be straight with you people. I don't think racism is the issue. I think it's because the FBI has an algorithm where, are you white? No. Are you black? Yes. Are you Caucasian? No. Are you African American? Yes. They have it that way because what are we going to call them? Tahitian Tan? What are we going to call ourselves, crackers? I mean, you can't say that stuff. So you have to use politically correct speech, and there's no if he's African American, he's not from Africa. Okay, so he's American. That's the most important thing, right? We're trying to take care of our community.
It's important to remember your heritage. I'm a Polak, dude. I'm a Polak. Yeah. That's great. And we have, when I grew up I did most of my growing up in Chicago and in Wisconsin. German heritage is just awesome. We had some of the best festivals that I've ever been to. There's no problem with celebrating your heritage.
Exactly, and I'm cool with that. I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, I'm German.
To have a some sort of a quota. Well, yeah, you got 3 Germans, and you got a couple of guys that from England, but you really need more Spaniards. You need more Mexicans. You need more of this.
Dude,
we're just
don't even start me on affirmative action.
Oh,
don't even start me on that. We won't go down that.
Yeah, let's not go down
while
there.
We're here.
So we had I know you have a train of thought. We had Rodney Henry on last week.
Wonderful guy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So he's an Army veteran, VFW post commander, right there in your area, New Richmond. So you guys are working together like this weekend, aren't you? You guys are doing some stuff. You guys are doing a ride-in this weekend, like tomorrow. Tomorrow?
So, yes. So this weekend, they've got the Freedom Fest for Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Saturday, they got a cruise in that evening. Sunday evening and night, they've got the fireworks. And I'm really happy to see the sponsors they pulled in last minute. I'm going to tell you.
And we talked about the effect of Rona on this.
You know what's funny about Corona? Okay, let me give you an example of how it impacted us. Maybe it's a little different for us, but let's go back to the first year of our show. We spent 6 months pressing like hell to get sponsors for the car show, for the trophies, and I'm going to tell you, it was onesie twosies here and there. It's our first year. It's hard. You got to really hit the grassroots, ground pounding, phone calls, cold calls.
And you don't have a record. You don't have a record of success, so people are like, "Nah, who are these guys?"
But they loved the cause, so people did support it. But it was usually $100 checks here and there, and we still pulled off the unfathomable. I mean, it was a great show. We had hiccups the week of the show where they tore out the ground and we had to work around a parking issue, and we're just like, you know what? We're just going to roll with it, guys. And it turned out to be a huge success. But we also found out there were some glitches, what didn't work, what did work, kind of our after action review. Then we flash forward to the second year, then COVID hits. And I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. Okay, so then not only are we honoring somebody who's from Cincinnati, but we're trying, like the Dickens, we're dealing with the cancel culture. We're getting attacked left and right on social media just because we support law enforcement, being painted as these hateful people when we're not. We're anything but. And thankfully, the family of the hero we're honoring, Daryl Gordon, last year, they understood and they were very supportive. They were really excited to have us. Angela, she's a wonderful woman. Her daughter's great. And we raised over $2,000 for them that year. And that's in spite of COVID. And we also we couldn't do a rain date because we didn't know if COVID was going to stifle us from doing that. So we said, rain or shine. There was hailstorms all around us, except on our site. Our site, we had the blue sky peeking out, the sun came out, and up until the end of the trophies, no rain. And it was gorgeous. It was like, I prayed all night that night and all morning that morning, please, God, let it not rain. Let us have nice weather. I know it's going to storm. Let it storm everywhere else, but not at our show.
Not until later.
He answered it. Well, he kept it because literally as we announced the winner of the last award and presented the check to the family and we were doing photos, bam, rain came down. It was just rain, nothing else. So nobody's cars got damaged either. It was great.
That's awesome.
We still had a good year. And so, again, it was still onesie twosies. We had a couple of good sponsors, and they returned again this year because they loved what we did. And
who wouldn't want to be a part of this? And it would only be because of public image. What is the image? What is society now? I think everything that we're seeing in the news right now is society related to the large cities, LA, New York City, that type of stuff. So they use that attitude and say, okay, this is America, but it's not. I've seen nothing but patriotism. I've seen nothing but support for our, law enforcement and firefighters where I'm at. I'm in a big ass city. Dallas-Fort Worth is huge.
Yeah. Dallas-Fort Worth, that's a whole nother can of worms, man. You are a brave soul. My wife's from Fort Worth.
It's so nice here. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain parts though you just like don't take a left there.
Well, and it's like that in every. It's probably like that in Cincinnati. It's like that in probably Dubuque, Iowa.
Believe it or not, I don't get afraid to drive downtown, even though my car is literally pro-police. I'll give you an example. I was driving downtown today to go visit family at the hospital, and I kid you not, man, I had so many people of different looks and walks of life driving by. I had my window rolled down. I was listening to some music, and they're looking over there, shaking their head, looking with a smile like, that's a nice car. And I was like, it's no secret. It's got thin blue line flags, all American flags all over the car. It's got every detail of it that screams, I love law enforcement. And I didn't get any moment of hate. I didn't get the bird. I didn't get somebody chucking a drink at my car. I got nothing but respect. So media has a really good way of brainwashing people to think ways are going when they're not. But I'm going to tell you, people of all places, and believe it or not, people of color do love their law enforcement. I think it's a rarity. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I think there's a very good majority of people that say they don't like law enforcement that are actually not people of color. They're actually white. They're part of suburbia. They're of an entitled brat society, unfortunately, and that's whatever. But I'm going to tell you, I don't watch the news anymore. I'd rather make the news than watch the news.
There you go. I'm right there. I'm right there beside you. I cut the cable a long time ago. I'll read the news. I'll consume the news. I'll verify what's been said, and I'll decide for myself what the facts are or what the truth is. That's the way to do it. I'll decide what the truth is. And I think that the media at large it's almost like it's an arm of some not an agency, because I don't want to do the tinfoil hat thing. That's Pooky's area. But it's but it's like I think that they want the division, they want the strife, they want to foment some kind of hate when there is none, dude. I get along with my neighbors, dude. I do.
Me too.
I work in a very diverse workforce, and there's no hate. I mean, at all. We're there for a common mission to perform our jobs to the best that we know how, and we can only do that together.
And not all media is bad. I will tell you, a good example, you guys, duh. You guys are straight shooters. And, I've got plenty of people in multiple news agencies that I talk to every day that love what we're doing and are always supportive of it and will do whatever they can to share our stories. But I'm telling you, I don't do it for the attention. I do it because I want the public to support us. I want them to know we're out there. And I'm going to tell you, Facebook has, I think they've made us partner.
Are you an extremist?
So much.
Are you an Have you been labeled as an extremist? Have you seen all those pop-ups? You have maybe been exposed to extremist content.
Is trying to warn me of an extremist. I just straight up just refresh my page. I don't care to read it.
It's crazy. My fault. I'm sorry.
So, but let me just go ahead and tell it to you guys like this. All right. Bottom line is our service got distractors trying to interrupt. Our job is, like I said, to put on this show. We put this car show together, and you've heard about the first 2 years. We struggled over $10,000 in sponsors for this year's show. A friggin' local car show. And it's turned out to be something that people all over the country are come to. I've got somebody from Nevada coming down. I've got several from Alabama, Georgia. I got a couple from Texas, apparently, down on the eastern coast of Texas.
Okay. Beaumont, probably?
Everywhere. And obviously all over Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania, Michigan, Tennessee, all of it. It's just, wow. We have 130 pre-registered vehicles, and it's not even the day of the show. Just 130 already signed up. Most of the time, people don't pre-register because waiting on weather, they're deciding whether it's going to be too hot, too cold, not too cold in this case, but wet. Do they feel like parking their car in the grass? A lot of people prefer paved lot over grass. I've seen cars that go to SEMA that are coming to our show and parking in the grass. They don't care. They support the cause. And I'd like to make some shout outs to some of these sponsors. So our presenting sponsors. So the car show is put on obviously by our cause, but the presenters of the show are AT&T and Fallen Hero Network, both $2,500 level sponsors. For little rinky, it's not rinky dinky now. Obviously, it's a huge show, but in odds of what it is a local car show where most people say 150 cars is a good event. We're expecting over 350, 400 cars this year.
Talking to Rodney last week, he said Humana's on board. And this is crazy because everyone's trying to keep this COVID thing. I think the major threat has passed. I really don't think there was a major threat, but Humana being an insurance company,
healthcare, they're a healthcare company. Yeah,
and they're on board, which is awesome, and that should say things.
Right. They're on board with our show. They were on our board with our show before they lifted COVID. They were a sponsor last year.
That's awesome.
They didn't have a booth, even though they were invited to have one, because as a sponsor you get a booth because of COVID. But they supported it. They gave us items to give away. They provided hand sanitizer. We did a great show last year.
So Gary Branscombe, Gary Branscombe's a listener, and he says, okay, where is this at? I missed it. This is going to be in the.
You didn't miss it, brother. So August 7th it's in Batavia, Ohio. If you're paying attention real closely, and if you have to pause the video or listen to it later, it's the park. Okay, so it's Batavia Township Park, and the address is 1535 Clough Pike in Batavia, Ohio. Now, if you go to our website, backtheheroesrumble.com, and click on Annual Car Show at the menu at the top, you can do this to your phone, your tablet, your computer, wherever. You will find out every bit of the information. Now, I know some people are traveling from long distances and they have to trailer their cars. That's perfectly fine, but they still have to prove they can drive it into the show, because we have trailer parking just a half a mile away on paved roads at a local school. They're letting us use their lot, the West Claremont Middle School. That is where the parking for the trailers will take place. So if you have to trailer your ride because you're coming a long way, that's how you do that. It's $15 day of event. From 9 to noon is registration. If you're in line by when the anthem's being sung or performed, you'll get the opportunity to still finish your registration if you're doing day of registration, because pre-registration's closed. We closed it on the 1st. And like I said, we have 131 vehicles registered already. All vehicles are accepted. So I'm going to go down this list, Koz, if you're okay with this. I'm going to quickly go through our list of our sponsors. That's what they paid for, right? So AT&T is a presenting sponsor. So is Fallen Hero Network for $2,500. Fallen Hero Network is in kind. They're bringing a motif-laden big rig for police, fire, military, those lost in the line of duty, and 9/11 especially. He's coming all the way from Utah to be there, and it is a beautiful 18-wheeler. So Cody Cross, thank you for coming out. We're really excited to have you. He's also going to be there for us for the National Night Out the week of our show when we're at the Police Night Out that week. We have General Electric Credit Union. We have United States Army and the U.S. Army Recruiting Command and
USAREC.
Yes,
you got USAREC there?
All three of them paid $1,500 to sponsor our cause.
Wow.
Haggerty Insurance. So Haggerty, a lot of you guys that are car guys may know these guys. These guys do rallies. They do Motors Reg. They do a lot of racing events. They do some car shows, very, very limited car shows. Usually the Concourse Elegance series. Creme de la Creme. They sponsored our show for $1,000. They also gave us goodie bags with their embroidered, embossed logo on them for us to give with our goodie bags items. They're the actual bags that, they're really nice bags. Humana, lieutenant level sponsor for $1,000. We got a free $2,000 cost entry into the Auto Expo for our show, or for our advertising of our show at the Auto Expo in Cincinnati. Donated to us by the Cincinnati Auto Expo and the Greater Cincinnati Auto Dealers Association. Beachmont Ford and Beachmont Ford Roush Performance, their repeat sergeant level sponsor, which is $500.
Roush.
Bullard's Badass Barbecue, Eastern Hills Exchange, Texas Roadhouse, Jegs Automotive, Gerber Collision and Glass, Holiday Inn and Suites, Rent to Own, Pit Boss Grills, all of these people, sergeant level sponsors and raffle donors and partners of us. We have Ruthless Customs, a great artist by the name of Shannon Vanderwide. She and her husband Chris, he is a Marine veteran. They run this company where they do custom body paint and body work. They refab, like they took a 2012 Ford Mustang GT and refabbed it into by hand, like the cowl and everything by hand. This girl's amazing. And rebuilt Eleanor. It's just gorgeous. I can't say anything more. You just go to Ruthless Customs with a K on Facebook in Cincinnati, and you'll find them. You'll see all the work done. She did my hood liner for my Challenger, and she's going to be doing more work under the engine for me.
Okay, what I'd like to see, you know, Mom, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, she's got this swagger wagon minivan. Can they do something with that?
She could do it if she asked her, but it's going to cost her some money.
Well,
and Shannon will probably, because of her cost, she'll probably do some love on the cost there, but I can't guarantee anything. She's there to make money, of course. This woman puts out so much of her work, kicks butt. Bearded Rebellion, you guys had them on here in February. The International Beer Club and the Ohio chapter, they're Patriot level sponsors because they sponsored one of the Honorary Choice Awards, which is a $200 crystal glass trophy, and they sponsored another class. We have Prestige Auto Body and Golf Carts from Northern Kentucky. They're donating use of golf carts, including a 6-seater for ours to use at the event. Tactical Baby Gear gave us a $400 package to auction off.
Tactical Baby Gear.
Oh, dude, I could go all day with these guys. Their gear, we bought some of the stuff for our son Theodore, and I'm going to tell you, it's you Army vets, Marine veteran, it's cool. You could take your Molly gear and attach, say, a magazine clip Molly to your baby carrier. Okay, it's got the Molly system, right? You could put their bottle in that thing and carry around their bottle. It's like, okay, you're done with that? Okay, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm not kidding you. Their stuff is so cool, and it's better than military grade because we all know military grade ain't really shit. Sorry. It's better than military grade. It's badass. Frisch's, Mike's Car Wash, and Raising Cane's, they round out. No, they don't. I'm sorry. Got Your Six Garage Customs Car Club sponsored. Limitless Electric, Panhandle Ranch, Save a Warrior Foundation, and Vet Motorsports all sponsored our show. It's a mouthful, I know. These guys all dumped in, like, so much support. And I think people are just tired of being locked in. And these sponsors had money tied up. They're like, we need to get some events now. And we were like, guess what? You want to be part of something cool? Come do our show. And they're like, we're in. And it just took off, man. And so with the trophies in mind, almost $13,000 in sponsorships for the show.
That is such great news, man.
Dude, it's amazing. Every penny from the sponsors, and this is written in the proposal letters we gave to them, and we explained, any money that's not needed for the cost of the show because everything's covered because we got way more sponsors than we expect. We actually had to say no to some people. We put towards our other program, Operation Open Arms, which provides the trauma kits, undermet needs such as Jaws of Life, radios, body cameras, things like that. We are intending on providing to departments in need that don't have the budget for it, or are underfunded enough to where they kind of need us to help them out on that.
So it's a zero sum effort it's a zero sum effort, really it is, because you're doing all these things, you're getting all of these donations. I'm just going to use that as a blanket term, and then it's like what you don't use goes to another effort that's going to happen.
Not to our pockets, correct. And then every penny. So we have 131 vehicles registered, so do that times $15. We have over $1,800 fundraised for these families already, and we haven't even had the show yet.
Wow.
$1,800 already fundraised for the families. All the money raised at the show, including that $1,800 I told you about, all the money raised at the show goes to the families at the end of the show. We write a check to them.
Really?
And yes. And my goal, I don't know if I told you this in January, my personal goal was $6,000 minimum fundraise so we can give at least $3,000 to each of these families. I'm pretty confident that since we're already almost at $2,000 and we haven't even had the damn show, I think we're going to do that. I think we will. And oh my God, it means so much to me to be able to say that. And I'll just be honest with you guys. My wife and I were expecting another child, so we've been kind of battling that. And I don't know how I'm going to pull this off next year with another baby here, but I will say to you guys, please be praying for us. My wife had her water break last night, and I'm trying to fight back the tears when I tell you guys this. The prayers and the support we've gotten from family, friends, and followers of our cause already has been enormous. She's probably not going to make it to the car show because she's going to be stuck in the hospital, hopefully carrying the baby to a safe age and term. But we're trying to make sure, at least if nothing else, my wife makes it home. But we're praying that both make it.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. If you're a praying person, I mean, let's give some good vibes to make sure there's a. Do you have any other kids? I mean, is this a family of 3 or is it going to be like 8?
So I've got a 14-year-old teen son who's a great big brother to Theodore, who's now 14 months old. And so this would be the third living. We've had 3 prior to Theodore. We had 3 babies that didn't make it past 20 weeks gestation.
No.
And Theodore is a rainbow baby, and we were hoping to finish the door out with we were trying to have a girl, and it turns out it's a boy. And we had a name pegged at first, but then we decided, because he's kind of having a bit of a David versus Goliath kind of fight now. He's doing well right now in mama's womb, but he has no amniotic fluid, so it's a touch and go daily. So we've decided we're going to name him David.
Oh, there you go.
And his name's Nathaniel, and it's because we feel like he should win. We're confident. We're being hopeful. We're being optimistic and realistic, but we're hopeful that he's going to make it. So, and I'm sorry about the deluge off from the topic, but
no, you're a spiritual guy, man. If not religious, and I think that's just awesome. That's super awesome. I love the name.
Oh, thank you. And my wife is hopefully listening, but if not, she's probably resting.
Okay. Wait till your wife is super medicated and say, okay, can we make his middle name WTF? Float that, please. I'm throwing that out there.
Consider that. So, yeah, like I said, this interview is a good distraction too, because I want to keep moving forward as I'm sorry, I'm one of those guys that'll admit that I've seen some chick flicks, okay? And one of my favorite ones is Moulin Rouge. And it's like they say in the park, the show must go on, right? So this car show, there's nothing stopping it. I will still be there regardless.
You know what's cool about this is it's not until August. And you've got this thing coming up this weekend, which is happening now, and you're doing things for that. You got a lot of irons in the fire, man. You got to take a break sometime. Don't burn yourself out. I'm not burn yourself out, because the mission is always there, but I mean, take care of yourself, dude.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, once everything's done tonight, I'm going to be playing me some Call of Duty Cold War. So don't worry. I'll be playing some video games with my brother and some friends. So, and which, by the way, if you guys want to find me, OIF Medic. That's my Activision clan tag. So just find me.
OIF Medic?
OIF Medic. Yep. It was back the blue, but I got snubbed. They told me to change the name.
No way.
Yes,
that's crazy.
They did. I was livid, but at first I laugh at it now. I'm like, wow, you woke people suck. So, and I'm just, if you haven't figured it out by now, guys, there's not a racist bone in my body. Okay, I have a brother that's actually half African American. My stepdad is his dad, and he was more of a father figure to me than anyone else in my life. Even my own dad, my sperm donor, wasn't even in my life.
God damn.
There's not a part of me that there's hate. There's not. The only thing I could say I can't stand is stupid. I can't stand people acting stupid. I usually separate myself from that. But all political views aside, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you're a brother, sister in God's eyes. You're a brother, sister in my eyes. And especially if you're fire, police, military, I got your six. We've always told law enforcement officers we run into at events all across the area and even beyond, hey, if you're ever in our area and you find yourself needing reprieve, knock on our door. We'll give you a drink. We'll even feed you.
Park your car outside my house. We got you.
Damn right. And that's just the way I've always been, man. That's why I was a medic in the Army, because I'm not the one that want to harm somebody. I'd rather be the one that saves them, And if I can't save them,
going back to your service in the military, were you drawn to be a medic, or was it like one of those, here, you got 3 things that you can do, choose one?
I walked up to the Army recruiter at lunch and said, I want to be an Army medic. And he about jumped out of his pants and said, well, I got a position for you.
Of course he said that. Thanks, recruiter time.
Bit on it real quick. But what provoked me to do it was actually I had a kid on the way. I had a full ride scholarship to Ohio State waiting for me for the
it's the Ohio State. Do you have to say that?
Buckeyes, yes. I even have the letter. My mom has it stashed away in a plaque because it's the college that never happened, because I found out I had a kid on the way. Yes, I was 18, young, dumb, full of cum. Sorry. It is what it is. I had a kid coming, and I said, well, I'm not going to sit there and try to stretch through 6-7 years of school with a kid. I'm going to do what's right and make sure he's taken care of, and I went into the service. So, no regrets.
That's a man right there. Hell yeah.
So, joke's on you people if you think I was stupid. I'm just trying to be real, because I have a poor self-esteem. I'll be honest with you guys. But this cause drives me like almost as much as when I wake up in the morning just to see that 14-month-old kid of mine. I am literally driven. It is my coffee. It is my energy doing this cause. It means the world to me to do it, and I am so happy to be able to do so. But
the thing about getting out of the military, you don't, and this is what like the you got to. When you're in the military, there's always a mission or there's always something to do, and then you ETS and you get out, and you're almost empty. Especially now with combat vets, and everyone's a combat vet for the last 20 years. Your mission is to find a mission. You got to find something to do, whether it's to be an entrepreneur, whether it's to be educated, whether it's to be over here and talk on a mic in front of veterans, or you got to find something to do, find something meaningful for your life. And you've done this, and you've done it in spades, because I think Back to Heroes Rumble is it's taken off. This is your 3rd event, official event. I mean, you do participate in other ones, but this is really going to go down in the record books. And if you think, I mean, what are you going to do next year? The 4th annual. You always have to think about what's next.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. We aren't just doing a car show this year. We're setting a precedent, because previous years we didn't have the funding for it. This year we do. So guess what we're doing? The week of the show, we're putting the family up the night before the show in a hotel. Nice. So why we're doing that is 2 reasons. One, we don't want them to feel like they have to travel a long way the morning of the show, like the first family did. God bless Kayla Coletti and Joey's family.
They were the first. They were the first, right?
They drove all the way from Lancaster.
Yeah.
And that was rough. And the second show, thankfully, was local. But this year, we knew we had one from Dayton and one from Bardstown, Kentucky, which is down near Lexington. Louisville. Either way, it's far enough away where we needed to make sure the family didn't have to rush. We wanted them to enjoy the event and not have to rush out the door. Also, we're feeding them at Our board's eating off our own personal dollar. We're not using the nonprofit funds to feed ourselves, so we can join them. We're paying out of our own pockets to feed ourselves because the money is meant for them and for our heroes, not us.
You guys are so upfront. You guys are so above board as far as all these things.
Well, with a lot of nonprofits, I hate seeing the ones. I understand you got to make a living wage. Sometimes it requires you to pay some people, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And that's the hard part, is you don't get a whole lot of board jumping on because you're not paying them. But the dividends, what we get paid in, is the smiles, the tears of joy in the family's eyes. And we wouldn't have it any other way because
the gratitude.
Frankly, that's what a charity's supposed to do. There's too many charity organizations out there where they've got 10, 15, 20 executives making six figures. I'm sorry, but if your annual budget's $2.6 million and more than half of it's going salaries, you're not a charity. You're a pocket pincher. And I'm going to say that and take that to my grave with a smile on my face.
Do it, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. I will pound that into the ground every fucking day that when you see this charity, we're a 501c3. Okay, great. Who is your board? How many are on the board? How much do you get paid? And I would rather donate to a 501c3 that has everything is above board, dude. Everything here is above board, and I love it.
I'm going to give you an example of a nonprofit as my personal shout out. You want another nonprofit that's like us and legit and doesn't make money into their own pockets, and they really are all about the $2 million budget they have every year plus serving the veterans. USA Cares. They just expanded out to the Cincinnati area. My intent is to connect with those people and try to work with them to help add a network of support. So because I noticed that when I said open arms, I wasn't doing a whole lot for the military community. And the biggest reason is, fortunately, there are so many great organizations doing great things for our military. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I would rather connect and partner with those folks so that when a veteran reaches out to us, we can go, hey, we got this person that can help you with housing, the Barracks Project. We got these people that could help you with rent for a few months, or can help you feed your family short-lived.
Yes.
Oh, you need gas? We can provide you a gas card. Do here. So USA Cares, the Barracks Project, the local USO. There's so many good organizations out there doing what they need to for veterans. We don't want to take from them just to say we do it too. No, we're going to focus on where the need is the greatest, and that is first in police, fire and police. But when it comes to the car show, we will honor all our fallen heroes: police, fire, military. I don't care if you were a reservist and you got deployed. It does not matter if you're National Guard. I know y'all call them nasty girls, but they're soldiers to my eyes. I mean, the Air Reserves, the Navy, and you can knock them all you want, but the Coast Guard, those guys are badass at protecting our borders. And our oceans, and there are mishaps that occur. And
Space
if you get
Force
injured in the line of duty, we want to help.
Space Force.
Yeah, Space Force. I mean, they're still growing, right? I mean, but all of it. That's what I'm saying. I want to help them when the family hits the ground and they have somebody pass. I don't want to just be another charity that comes out and says, "Hey, I want to raise money for you," and then you don't hear from me, or you don't get a check, or you get a check and that's it. I want to build a network of support with fallen heroes families so that the next year you come back and you realize I get to pass the torch and help another family. And I've been there, so I understand. And even if the loved one died 20 years ago or just last year, your hero matters too. And damn it, that's what we're here to do, is make sure that is the case every time. So yeah, the car show is hopefully going to be pretty damn big as we anticipate. And I praying to God that every single one of our sponsors do what several of them already have, and they come back next year again. Again, huge shout out to all of them, especially our presenting sponsors, AT&T and Fallen Hero Network. I've built a really headstrong relationship with Cody Cross, the guy that runs Fallen Hero Network. They're not even a nonprofit. They're just a non-government entity. He runs a transport company, several transport companies. And he is what you call a high-dollar philanthropist. He is always throwing his money at police, fire, military causes that do what we do. And it's because of him we've got a huge drive for people to travel across the country to see his rig and our show. And
what's the name?
It's huge.
What's the name again?
Fallen Hero Network. They have a Facebook page. So if you literally type in www.facebook.com/Fallen Hero Network, guys, they sell memorabilia, they sell challenge coins and things like that. They even give them to law enforcement agencies, but they'll sell those shirts, everything you could think of, and the money they raise pays for the money they give to agencies and other nonprofits that serve them. And these guys are donating a portion of their proceeds from selling those items to our cause in total at the show.
That's awesome.
On top of the fact that he's not even charging us for him to travel all the way up to be part of our show. I mean, that is unheard of.
So much support for your organization and for the effort for, fallen officers and everything. This is great.
Most important, the support for the families and the fallen heroes.
And it's not it's not just lighting a torch for a fallen officer, it's taking care of the families.
Right. And even if they decide they don't keep the money, they want to donate it to a cause in their loved one's name, that's their right to choose. And that's money they otherwise wouldn't be able to donate to a cause that may have been first on the ground to help them.
You've got all your I's dotted and T's crossed. This is great.
I'm not perfect at it, but
you must have a team of lawyers and everything behind you.
No.
I
don't have a team of lawyers. Why do you think I'm not mentioning bad things about other nonprofits?
It's all teamwork, man. We take care of each other.
Yes. So Amy Donnelly, our marketing director, she's been kicking ass, man. And my wife, even now, she's championing for our cause, even while she's in a hospital bed. I tell her, hey, rest, and she'll rest, but she's still championing our cause. Even if she's not able to be at the show, we know, the families know, that we're all in it for them, and we've gotten nothing but love and appreciation from them. And Holiday Inn and Suites donated the hotel rooms for us to get to the family. So I forgot to mention them, but shout out to them in Cincinnati. Holiday Inn and Suites, they're very supportive of what we're doing, and they promised every year to donate rooms for the families. So
not only will you sleep there, but you'll be smarter the next day that you wake up.
Yeah, and I'm just humbled that 3 years of hard work finally paying off for our heroes, for their families, for our cause. And I'm just hoping to God that our become just as successful. We've got a gala in December. That's our first one. We've already got Pit Boss Grill donating an $800 grill for us to auction off at the gala.
Oh, like a whole grill.
Yeah, it's a gas and wood pellet combo grill.
Nice.
We're trying to get Officer Daniels, Mike the Cop.
Yes, Mike the Cop. We've had him on the show.
I would love to get them and Chelsea Lynn to come down and be speakers at our cause. I love Humanize the Badge and what they do with, especially one of their programs, Call for Backup up there in Detroit. Well, I think it's Taylor, Michigan, technically. These guys, I've read their website up and down. I love what they're doing, and that's exactly in line with what we're doing. We're trying to bring back the human aspect. These are human beings. They're your brother and sister. Who knows? They were kids 20 years ago in your school with you in school. These are people. They're not just some robot, wearing a friggin' badge, walking around saying, stop.
They're not a stormtrooper.
No. Well, yeah, we're going to have those there too at the car show. Thank you for segueing that. We'll have a Batmobile there too. But, these heroes at our car show that we're honoring, they get so much flack for such BS, And, I remember there was a time where they were dogging military in Vietnam. They were calling them baby killers. Like, these guys didn't have the choice, most of them, to go in. They were forced to. And I feel like Vietnam vets and veterans before that, they got such a bad rap. The soldier's heart is a heavy one. And, we need to be there for them when they fall. Not just when they fall all the time, but especially for the families and them when they fall. We're there for them. That's why our mission is supporting those that have fallen. And our motto is honor, service, sacrifice. They took honor to serve and sacrifice for us, so we should do the same for them and their loved ones. And that is what we're here to do.
You guys are doing it right, man. Hey, do you want to like plug your third annual Back to Heroes Rumble car show?
Yes, absolutely. So again, the car show is at Batavia Township Park, 1535 Clough Pike, spelled Clough Pike, in Batavia, Ohio, from 9 to 3. The registration closes at noon that day. Trailer parking is available for those who are traveling a distance. A lot of military guys, I know you're listening. I don't care if your car's a beater, man. Hey, if you want to enter it in to support the cause, or you just want to come and donate and try to win a grill to take back and cook off of for your fellow camaraderies over there back on base, by all means, come. You're more than welcome. Spectators are free to get in, and every penny we raise at the show goes to the families. And I'm just really excited for the show. My board has been supportive enough to the point where they finally told me what I needed to hear, and that is, Carl, you've worked all year. When the show happens, you're going to enjoy it. We're going to work. You enjoy your work. And I'm like, that's going to be hard for me, but okay.
No, do it. Take advantage of that.
But I'll tell you the honest truth. 3 years ago, I didn't even know how a car show went on.
You like cars. Let's get guys that like cars or people that like cars, and let's get together. And then it became a car show.
And they're such generous people. Generous, humble, loving, patriotic people. And even if they don't like a specific person as president, they love our heroes. And every year I've seen nothing but that.
Totally.
And even with our cruise-ins, I've seen strangers walk straight up and go, "What's your cause do?" "Oh, we provide trauma kits for police officers, take care of fallen heroes' families," and they just drop a $100 bill in the bucket without a blank and walk away. They don't even wait for us to say thank you. And I'm just like, it hits you hard, man. It hits you like a brick to the chest. Like, oh my God, really? You people rock. And it's patriotism, and Americans who love their heroes is very alive and well.
Turn off the TV. Don't listen to the media. They're trying to divide us, and that is my mantra. And that's that I think is your opinion as well.
Collectively, no. Majority, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I know several media partners that are very much into what we do. But I do feel like it is a ratings driven business, unfortunately, because ratings drive sponsors. Sponsors drives money into the pockets to run and pay your employees. I understand why you do it, but it's the wrong way to go about the biz. If you want to get ratings, sensationalize the political climate. Don't sensationalize hate towards cops. Don't give it the iota of energy it doesn't deserve.
That's an awesome take. That I agree 100% with that.
But it means a lot to me to be able to tell people about our cause, tell them about what we're trying to do, and we're just trying to do what most prophets are trying to do: make our world a better place for our next children to be able to thrive and go, I love this place, just like I did when I grew up.
So on Facebook, where can we find you?
It's Facebook.com/Back the Blue Rumble is the URL, but it is Back the Heroes Rumble, our doing business as name. And you can follow, and we put videos up there all the time. You can go to our events.
Are you guys up on Are you guys up on the Twitter or the Instagram or anything?
We got canceled on Twitter.
You got canceled on Twitter because
we have an Instagram. But
it's because it was about Back the Blue thing. I'm thinking
exactly, but I'm not ashamed of it.
No,
big
don't
old
be.
Middle finger to Twitter.
Or what's the oh, I lost my train of thought because I'm old.
Instagram?
I'm going to blame that. Instagram. You're good on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Back the Heroes Rumbles our Instagram. We have a Back the Blue Rumble, but I think I officially changed the name to Back the Heroes Rumble, so that should be the only one.
Okay.
We got videos in my car you'll see on there because I drive it every day.
What do you drive? What do you drive? Tell me about it.
I drive a Dodge Challenger RT Blacktop Edition, portrayed and modeled out to be a pro police vehicle. It's got 34,000 miles on it, and I put every one of them on it. I bought it with 13 miles on it when I bought it. And how I bought it was I quit smoking. I had a V6 red Challenger that I bought as a retirement gift when I got out.
So you could afford the 25% interest rate.
You're not kidding. That is the interest rate. Quick, get out of my head. I didn't put any money down, guys. I made an irresponsible financial move, but you know what? It's fucking worth it.
It was worth it.
I did a mid-muffler delete on it. It's got active exhaust, and that thing turns heads every time I drive by. You'll hear this every time I let off the gas in the middle of third gear. Oh, I love it. It's so fun to drive. Just car seats don't fit in it very well, just like any other sports car. It is what it is.
Hey, we got to get the kid in the car. Okay, fold down the front seat. Oh, all right. Okay, try to wedge this thing in there.
Center fold the car seat is the only way it's going to work in that car. And then once certain models of the car seat are too big, it won't even fit. So front face car seats only in the Challenger. So you got to wait until they're at least 40 pounds. I'm just saying, guys, it means a lot to me to be able to tell people about our cause. I hope our viewership is increased because, like I said, I want everybody to know about us. You know, when you're up to no good, you don't want to be out in the limelight. You want to be quiet. You want to be behind the scenes. No, we're doing everything we say we're doing. We're keeping our noses clean. We're doing what we're supposed to do, and we're taking care of our heroes every day that we can. And I will tell you, in just the last year, we've had over $20,000 in impact towards police departments. 16 police and fire departments were served with COVID-19 needs, morale and welfare feeding, trauma kits, and even new radios for one small budget department that didn't even have their officers literally only got paid $17 a shift, and they got paid by a local weed dispensary plant is how they get their wage.
Wow.
Yeah. And we got them radios because they needed them. So we are dollar for dollar probably your best bang for your buck as a nonprofit, and we hope to improve that. And increasing donorship is important, but more importantly, we want to get a following to grow. We've already got well over 2,000 followers and people that like our page. We want to, because the further you get people to like it, the more Facebook shows you on Facebook, the more people see it, and there's a lot of people out there that support their heroes that don't know about us yet.
We're all trying to break the algorithm and try to figure out how to get the most reach out there.
We've paid for it a little bit out of my pocket. I'll donate money and then immediately use the money I donated for advertisement, so I'm not wasting money on.
But that's like 0.03 cents, per view or whatever, whatever it is.
Impression, yeah. RTI on advertising in Facebook sometimes is a wash. Other times it can be a huge success. Our car show, we had over 100,000 people and impressions on the event page, and that's unheard of for a local car show. Unfriggin' heard of. And we've made a commitment as a board that we're going to be chipping in every month, and our goal is to increase that every year until we're able to be part of the self-sustaining model for our organization. We're taking courses that are free through nonprofitready.org. And this organization provides free courses for financial management and stuff like that. So we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing to grow.
You guys are doing all the great stuff. Thank you, Carl, very much for being here, man. Fucking shit, yeah.
Are you guys going to try to come to the show?
I have no idea who's in the area. I think Amy is in the area.
Amy's in the area. I'm here. I've got a pretty damn big house. I can always crash somebody crash it.
August 7th is the day of this. Where'd it go? Where'd my slide go? The car show, the third annual Back the Heroes Rumble car show, August 7th, 2021. Honoring Officer Jason Ellis and Detective George Del Rio. Georgie.
Yes. And there's 36 crystal glass trophies in the value that the sponsors paid for at a value of almost $3,000. You're not going to find trophies like this at any car show. That's why people are traveling to come to it, because they want a chance to get one of those and they want to support our cause.
Okay, so I'm guessing Spanky's minivan is out, Amy's minivan is out. So you're probably doing sports cars and muscle cars and stuff.
Believe it or not, we'll accept anything. But just understand there's going to be criteria for us to judge. It doesn't have to be a flashy car for us to judge. It just needs to be clean, presentable, and if it's a modern vehicle, please have done something original to it so it looks good.
Who are the judges?
The judges are concourse judges. So thank you for asking that. I want to do a huge shout out to these judges. Let me see here. We have our head judge is Rich Franz. Now, collectively, between these men, I'll just say you right now, these 9 men, they have over 120 years in judging experience. These guys are the creme de la creme of judges. I'm sure they'll probably go, they're modest. No, these guys do concourse d'elegance. Some of them travel around the nation. They go to the Amelia, Concourse d'Elegance, the one that's on the coast. It's just so we have Rich Franz, we have Mike and Steve Hack. They're a father-son duo out of Eastern Corvettes organization, body shop out in Cincinnati, in Amelia area. Michael Trevor, he's an exotics and supercar extraordinaire. He's the guy that's bringing McLarens hopefully and GT2 RS Porsches to our show. Fred Jones. Kurt Niemeyer is like the neophyte of awesome for automotive enthusiasts. He's got his own Cincy Motorsports Journal. Anything to do with cars, you guarantee he's going to be involved. And he's all about charity, big dollar charity organizations for the Arthritis Foundation here in Cincinnati, as well as many other great organizations. He's all about charity. Paul Krimmer, Dan Bosch is a recently added judge, and we have 3 assistant judges who are basically major car enthusiasts and Back the Heroes Rumble enthusiasts. They're having their cars in the show, but they're not having them judged because they want to help and learn to be judges to help us judge the show in the future as we grow.
That's really
Frank
cool.
Pennington, Bob Jordan, and Lorraine Green. Lorraine Green's daughter, Sierra, is a fallen hero officer who puts on a show every year in mid-July. Hopefully it's a huge success for her again this year. I plan on trying to attend it again this year. But these people are loving, wonderful people, and they want to see us succeed just as much as everybody else, and they're donating their time to be there. So thank you, Koz. Thank you, Pooky. Thank you, WTF Nation Radio, and your viewers. Thank you so much if you've stuck this long, you really care about what we're doing. Thank you.
We got some great fans.
We're very grateful. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Carl.
Fans.
Thanks, Carl, for being here. And man, I can't wait to hear about something else that you have between the 3rd and 4th annual Back the Heroes Rumble Car Show.
You will know about a video because we're gonna have somebody doing flyover and videography of the event to kind of brief overview of what we do and show the impact the show has on the community. So when that's done through Eyesight Media, you will get that, and you'll be able to use that as the next time we talk on
sweet.
WTF Friday Night Freedom.
Carl, you're great. Love your organization. Hey, everybody, check out Back the Heroes Rumble, Back the Blue Rumble. However you can contact them. I mean, really, 10, 20, $5, $1. I mean, a donation will help a family of a fallen service member. And I mean that meaning military or police or fire. Thank you very much, Carl, for being here.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful 4th of July weekend, every one of you. And prayers and God bless to all of our soldiers deployed overseas and stateside protecting our communities and our police and fire as well.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Okay, everybody, you can join WTF Nation Radio for several shows during the week, but you know what? It's vacation time, so ICE is out, so that takes out 2 shows a week, so that leaves behind Pop Culture Warrior, and you can catch Pop Culture Warrior with CQ on Tuesdays and Friday Night Freedoms here on Fridays with Koz and Pooky.
Yeah.
Pooky, you got any parting words? Any words of wisdom?
Don't try to shoot bottle rockets out of your butt cheeks.
That is really awesome advice. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you on Tuesday for Pop Culture Warrior.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Is it necessary for me to drink?
WTF Nation Radio.